What if your best leaders aren't stronger? They're more aligned. And here's the real question. Are you leading a plant or are you losing yourself to it? In operations, we're trained to fix the work, the systems, the metrics, the head count. But burnout, it isn't a work problem. It's a whole person problem. Hi, I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge today. I help operations, supply chain, and manufacturing leaders build adaptive, high-performing teams that thrive in the chaos. And today, I'm going to give you a simple framework that you can repeat. It's called the 5 F's. It's part of my legacy compass. It's faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun are all part of the 5 F's. And I want to prove it with 2 real stories. One about trust, multiplying results, and another one about a leader choosing legacy over burnout. And if your life is out of alignment, your leadership will be too. And let's talk about why. And here's the real burnout problem, and we'll call it what it is. Operations leaders are carrying talent shortages, supply chain chaos out the yin-yang with all these tariffs, AI and other tech pressures, and cost targets that never stop moving. So what do we do? What do we sacrifice? We normally sacrifice our sleep, we sacrifice our health, we sacrifice our relationships, and we keep telling ourselves, once we get past this project that we're going to slow down. But guess what? That goalpost, it just keeps moving. And here's the real disruptive truth about it all. See, burnout shows up when our work gets disconnected from our purpose. When all those metrics that you're chasing right now have no meaning, the tank is empty. You're running on fumes. What is it that you are currently sacrificing right now so that you can win at work? And I want you to pull back a minute and think about, is it really worth it at the end of the day? Because 9 times out of 10, it's not. And if you kept it up like you're doing right now for 3 more years, what's going to break first? Your body, your marriage, your family, or your leadership? What's it going to be? Because burnout is a whole person problem, and the fix has to be the whole person as well. So here's the 5F framework I use in my legacy compass. And just so you understand, these aren't soft skills. They're the foundation for sustainable performance. And the key is the 5 F's, they're all connected. If you let one go, it's going to impact the others. So let's start with the one that most leaders ignore first. And it's the one that keeps you steady when everything gets loud and chaotic. And I bet there's a bunch of you right now that need that steadiness right now. And the first F is faith. See, faith is your anchor. I even have it tattooed on my arm. It is an anchor. It reminds me of where my hope lies because it's the anchor for my soul. See, that's where I look to my faith in those moments, good or bad. See, it's your purpose, it's your values, it's what you believe is really true when the pressure hits. And in operations, chaos is a pretty normal occurrence, right? And most of us are experiencing a lot of chaos right now because we don't have enough workers. We're asked to do more with less. We're really having to slash our budgets, and we don't know when the next tariff change is going to come. And if you don't have an anchor, you're going to drift off course. And that drifting for you as a leader makes you very reactive and chaotic in your decisions. And a reactive, chaotic leader is going to run the ship aground. And if you feel like you're drifting right now, you need to get back and remind yourself of what is your why. And if the numbers and metrics aren't cooperating for you right now, you got to get back and determine and what your why is. What is your purpose here in this? And when the pressure gets really high, what is it that you're going to refuse to compromise? When are you going to get to that point you're going to say no? So your faith will guide you through those moments. Your faith will help you stand in the midst of that storm. And all hell can be breaking loose around you, and yet you can find peace. Because when your purpose is clear, your priorities get very clear. You know what you can say no to. You know what you should say yes to. And that takes us to the second F, straight into family. And that family is your support system. It's your accountability. It's those people who remind you that you're really human. And they're the people that care about you the most. And a lot of times, they're the people you put on the back burner first because you're trying to please someone else and make someone else's dream happy, thinking that it's going to make you happy. See, those leaders who invest right here in those people who care about them the most, they don't just recover back better. They lead better in general because they have those people that help stabilize them and can speak truth into their lives and help hold them accountable to their own values when they need that accountability. When they need to hear the hard things and they're actually going to listen to them, that's why you need those people. That's why you need to make them a priority. The question is, do those people close to you right now, do they feel like they're getting your best or are they getting your leftovers? Now, it's okay to eat leftovers once in a while, not all the time. And eventually, if that's all you're giving them is your leftovers, they're going to get tired of it. And if they're going to be honest with you, and if you listen and pay attention, they're going to let you know. And it's going to tell you that you're drifting and you need to get back on course right now. Now, let's talk about the one that nobody wants to admit that it's really driving them. And it's money. And it's the third F. It's finances. Now, finances, it's not just the dollars, the money only. It's stress. It's freedom. It's options. See, financial pressures on a leader will make them short term. It'll make you tolerate what you shouldn't, and it'll make you lead out of fear. And when your finances are aligned with your values, you lead with intention. And the finances I'm talking about really and truly don't have anything to do with the damn business. Most of you are probably staying on top of that one because you know your neck's on the line and you're watching it, you got a team to watch it. But the finances I'm talking about are your personal finances. You taking care of yourself. You creating options for yourself for the future. You creating some freedom for yourself. You creating future opportunities for yourself that are not tied up to that business that you're in, that dream you're pursuing for somebody else. You are making sure your house is in order. More than just paying the bills. You're planning for a future. So with those finances, are you leading from strategy or are you just in survival mode? I know the economy's hard. I know times are tough. Hell, some of you might even got a cut in pay. They laid off so many damn people and you're lucky you got to stay around and they kept you around, but they demoted you and cut some of your money from you. And you're trying to figure out how you're going to create more options for yourself. And in the midst of all this, what does enough look like for you? And you might just be in that season of just enough. I've been there. Hell, I'm living there right now, personally. But if you have enough, you can lead with clarity. And if you want to lead with clarity, you're going to need some energy. And that's where the fourth F comes in, and that's fitness. And fitness I'm talking about is physical and mental at the same time. It's making sure you get enough sleep, that you're moving, that your nutrition is on point, or you're trying to be healthy in your food selection. And at the same time, you're trying to manage your stress in the midst of all this chaos. And if you want to manage your stress you might have to make sure you get a right amount of sleep. And I've been in operations a long time, and I've done tons of operations leadership training. And the one thing I always hear from them all is they don't get enough rest. They sacrifice their sleep. I've done it myself to reach the targets and the metrics. And what did it do for me? Not a damn thing, but made me suffer. Had my stress out the yin yang. Did I get paid extra for that shit? Hell no. And why was I doing it? Trying to make somebody else happy and making myself suffer along the way. And if you're doing that, you're not going to be able to make high quality decisions because your tank is going to be on empty. And in operations, you're having to make high quality, high pressure situations within minutes, seconds at times. And it blows my mind that you want to perform at a high level on your job and advance and get to the next level, and yet you do not take care of yourself. Tell me one professional athlete who eats like shit, drinks too much, and doesn't get enough rest and is world class. Give me one example. There isn't. There's no way you're going to be a world-class leader if you don't take care of yourself. So is your body right now supporting your mission, or are you sabotaging it by the choices that you're making with your sleep, with your food, with not exercising, with drinking too much? And think about it. When was the last time you felt sharp, you felt calm, you felt like you were on point and not just busy running around putting out fires somewhere? Now we're going to land on the one that leaders feel the most guilt about, but it's really the fuel that keeps them from burning out. And it's the fifth F, and it's fun. And fun is joy. It's your passion. It's play. It is the things that make you feel alive. For me, that would be going playing a round of golf, riding my motorcycle, going on a vacation holiday with my wife or my kids, or going out on a date with my wife, or getting away for a weekend, or going with the guys on a golf trip. That would be the thing. Or it could be you're that person and you're into woodworking and you just go out and woodwork in your shop and you're pursuing your passion and you're all in it and you do it on the weekends, or maybe you take a couple of days off and you make it your priority. See, if you as a leader aren't taking all of your PTO and you're not unplugging from this thing and you're not telling everyone that, hey, I'm not going to answer one email, I'm not going to answer one phone call, and you haven't prepared those people who serve under you to take care of the responsibilities while you're going and delegate what they should do, if you're not doing that, you are shooting yourself in the foot. You are a terrible leader. You suck if you can't do that. And you did it to yourself. And that fun, it's not childish. It is your fuel. It is you taking care of you. Just like we talked about the fitness part of it, it's you taking care of you. It's you having fun with the people, your family. It's making sure you have the finances to do it. It can be aligned with your faith. What if you went and took that mission trip and went for 2 weeks? 2 whole weeks off. Yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll solve whatever problems. See, leaders without joy, they don't become heroes. They become hazards. And they take down people with them. So who do you want to be? You want to be a hero or you want to be a hazard? So what is it that you do that has nothing to do with your performance at work, but it makes you feel alive? What is that one thing? How often are you doing it? Now, let me prove to you that this just isn't theory and I'm just talking out my head here. So I'm going to give you 2 real stories, and both of them are about one thing, and it's trust. The first story is the trust multiplier effect. And I'm in the season of building and growing my coaching business right now. Just after getting laid off, and I'm working hard at this and doing all the right things. And sometimes the results just aren't matching up with the effort. And there is some financial stress because of that. And because of that financial stress, I picked up a side gig where I'm doing roofing inspection, selling roofing. A friend of mine who I trust and who trusts me referred me to someone that needed their roof inspected, and because of their credibility that had been transferred to me, this lady trusted me immediately about the needs of her roof and what it would take to get it repaired and get it fixed. I didn't have to deal with any objections in the sale. I didn't have to try to convince her. I just told her what we did, how we did it, and she trusted me, and I sold her a roof. I have a contract with her. I'm gonna make some money off this. And the neat thing about it is, she didn't just have one house. Actually, she owns multiple properties. She has a total of 4. You see, trust didn't just speed up the decision. It expanded the opportunity to 4 total properties. Now, you compare that to a cold lead, which I've had plenty of them, knocked on plenty of doors, offered them the same service, but it's taken multiple calls, had to deal with tons of objections and a little pushback and friction, but I've sold one. But here's the whole faith layer about all this. See, I've been praying for some financial provision, dealing with a lot of frustration and anger at times, and really trying to hustle hard. And sometimes wondering if I'm not doing enough, but I am. I've shared with people what I do, and plenty of them told me, you're really going after it. You're hustling really hard. But in the midst of that prayer, in the midst of that hustle, the answer came through a trusted relationship, not through the grind. Yeah, I think God had something to do with it. Yeah, I knew He did. So what does it mean for you if you're in operations right now, or as an operations leader? See, high trust leaders get execution a lot faster. You want to go faster? You increase that trust. When that trust is high, those teams will bring those problems to you early. And those ideas that you're looking for, they're going to show up without you begging for them because you built that trust. How much of your week right now as a leader is spent convincing people because trust is low? So let's take trust from a transaction to a life decision. And this next story is what burnout sounds like and alignment sounds like. This second story, just last week, I had a discovery call with a director of distribution at a local mid-sized manufacturing facility here in the area where I live. And he just recently found out he's going to be laid off in about a month. He knows the date. They gave him the date and everything. He could see it coming, okay? And he had already been inquiring if it's potentially going to happen. And he happened to be working for an organization that happened to be transparent up front, let him know way ahead of time. And he told me straight out that he had some other job offers for director role on the table. And he also was working with a company, supplier he'd previously worked for him in the past, and he could go back and work for him again. He can do that. That can happen fairly quickly for him. He sounded like he had some opportunities. He had plenty of people helping him out. And as we kept talking, he started talking about buying and running his own business. It was something that aligned with his faith. It involved his family, and it was building his legacy. I loved what he said in the middle of the conversation. Own something that he can drive himself. And when he said those words, you could hear it in his voice. That was where his passion was. That is where his heart was. And the difference in his voice between the two, going and getting another job at the same level with a different company or a company he worked for in the past compared to going after his dream, man, it was different, like day and night. And I could feel it. And that right there, that's the 5 F's in real life. Faith, being purpose-driven, not just profit-driven. Yeah, he wants to make money at this. It's part of his purpose and who he wants to be. It's involving his family. He's just not solo hustling, going and clocking in somewhere and working his ass off for somebody else. It is a legacy play for his future. Finances, wanting to be strategic, not desperate, not just jump on the first opportunity that comes along. Fitness, that energy, not only in his voice, but that energy when you stop living for somebody else's dream. And the final part is fun. The passion shows up when it's your calling. So where is your voice flat right now? And what does that tell you? So what do you do with this? You don't need a life overhaul. You need alignment in one decision at a time. And here's the simple takeaway. So your leadership can't be healthy if your life is unhealthy. And your team is never going to feel alignment if you lack it. So here's what I recommend for yourself. Score yourself 1 to 10. 1 being, this is terrible. 10 being, this is amazing, world class. And rate your faith, your family, your finances, your fitness, and your fun. 1 to 10. And score yourself in that area. Then circle the lowest score and pick one small action that you will take this week to raise it by 1 point only. And if you want help, grab my free 5F self-assessment, and I'll show you a preview of the 30-day challenge. So which F is costing you the most right now? And what's the next decision you need to make? Share it in the comments below. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining me for Legacy Leaders Lounge. I'll see you in the next episode.